Razor's Traitorous Heart. The Alliance, Book 2. Written by S. E. Smith. Narrated by David Brenin. Chapter 1. "Prepare the cleanup," Razor's deep voice ordered as he watched the fires burning in the remains of the city far below. "I want reconstruction of the city to begin within the month." "Yes, sir," the male standing behind him replied. "Was this really necessary?" the human male standing next to him asked in a shaken voice. The huge Trivator warrior, known only by the name of Razor, stood in rigid silence on the bridge of the observation warship. The advanced command ship was overseeing the demolition of the city below. The human city, that was once called Mexico City, was now a pile of burning rubble. All life, all buildings, everything had been wiped clean. Razor had earned his name. He cut through the resistance like a fine scalpel slicing through a life-giving artery. He was brought in when all others failed. He was one of 3 high chancellors for the Alliance, and was in charge of the vast military structure. He was also one of the most controversial members among the Council. It was his job to oversee the vast number of Trivator troops that made up the security forces of the Alliance. Their job was to initiate first contact, subdue any fear, and establish a safe environment for additional members of the Alliance to begin the process of bringing the new world under their protection. He was used to the fear when they first made contact with a new species. Most beings soon realized that the Alliance was there not to harm or control, but to help bring them into the larger and often more advanced star systems surrounding them. For young, unprepared planets, such as this, it could be frightening, and some resistance was to be expected. Still, the humans had been surprisingly stubborn to the point they would rather destroy their world than accept the visitors they had unwittingly invited through the messages they sent out. Razor's eyes narrowed on the ruins below him. This was a perfect example of the waste of resources and life. He had no regrets for his actions. The humans below had been warned that the Alliance had reached the end of its patience with those that continued to rebel against them. The Alliance had finally decided it was no longer willing to waste time and resources to bring the last of the major cities on the planet under control. The rebels were warned to cease fighting and work with the new world government that was established, or be erased. Those controlling the city below had refused the 12-hour grace period. Exactly 1 minute after the deadline, demolition ships began flattening the city. Razor stared calmly down at the destruction. Since his arrival on the planet 6 months before, he had already resolved the issues with the rebels on the other side of the world that continued to resist the integration into the Alliance. The small rebel groups in Cairo, Paris, and Riyadh had agreed to lay down their arms, and the cities were currently being rebuilt. Of course, those agreements had come after he had ordered the Ukraine's city of Kiev leveled after rebels there opened fire. He had warned them what would happen. Those that had refused to leave at first had fled in desperation as the huge destroyers began demolition of the city. Those that continued to resist died. "Yes," he replied coolly to the human representative that had been assigned to the region. "You should have—" the man began. "Resistance will no longer be tolerated. It is time to accept that your world is no longer alone in the universe. The Alliance's decision is final. It is time to rebuild your world and move forward." Juan Rodriguez, the new Mexican representative to the Alliance, swallowed as the large alien next to him turned and walked away. His eyes moved to the city where he had been born. It had taken less than an hour for the city to be leveled. The power and precision behind the destruction left him shaken. His eyes moved to the dozens of large destroyers that scanned for remains.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?